Or they try to.
Hey, we're back here with segment 4 with Dr. Todaro. Is that better, honey? She's been yelling at me because I'm using 3 O's instead of an A.
It is a 3-syllable word. Though,
yeah,
so we really
it is
don't
a
expect much from
3-syllable,
you.
so 420 on the verbal. Anyway, we left off last segment. We were talking about you're sort of at that ceiling with your current structure. So off camera, we were talking about this. You know, there's really 2 different ways that you can go. One, you can continue to do the same volume you're doing, but increase the profitability, which I think you're looking to do with some of these additional services that you are offering.
Yeah.
Or the other opportunity is actually to bring in another chiropractor to work underneath you.
Yeah.
And we were kind of discussing the problem with that is, as entrepreneurs, we're all kind of control freaks.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, that has its own issues as well because you do things a certain way. Yeah. So I guess, what are some of your thoughts as you come up against this now?
Well, I kind of agree with you that if I decide to give up some of the power, so to speak, in the office by hiring somebody else, you can run into issues with their techniques, their styles. And in this kind of business, people become comfortable with the chiropractors because of the way they operate, their techniques they use, the styles they use with them, because it is very hands-on. And if somebody else is in there and working on your current patient base, ideally and hopefully things would go well and everybody would be happy. But you run the risk of that not working out so well. And if you run into a problem with that, you can lose patients out of that. So the other.
Well, ideally, wouldn't you want to find someone that had their own client base, but maybe didn't have enough volume to support their own office and was looking? The only issue with that is, are you a 50-50 or are they working for you and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, to this point, in my late 20s and early 30s, I haven't been ready to run to go into that business model yet, to change and add another doctor, either as an independent contractor or an employee or a partner. I just haven't been ready to do that. Now that I hit the 30s, finally, I'm going to be exploring that option down the road, and either another chiropractor or another specialty, such as an acupuncturist.
Yeah.
Or a medical doctor, which we actually had on staff at the old office setup, and it was a very nice setup to have. But it's a whole new business model altogether, and that's something to think about when you got to make steps. If you try and do all that at one time, I just think that I would have run the risk of digging myself a hole that I couldn't get out of and causing new problems that wasn't ready for.
So be incremental.
Incremental, exactly. I look at it as a ladder, and one rung at a time, you try and work your way up towards the top. Yeah.
Good. All right, let's move on to learning curve and teachable moments. They talk about 8 out of 10 small businesses fail. Here you are, how many years now? 5 years in with your own shop. Probably 6-7 years total experience. Why have you been able to make it when so many others have folded?
I think finding the right, having the right discipline to get you started with is one. Finding the right motivation to keep you going when you hit those roadblocks along the way. Some people will just not have the right motivation. And
what's your motivation? What keeps you motivated?
You know, I always say fear is a powerful motivator, and the fear of failure is one thing that's always motivated me. I know that's my main driving force is a fear of that. Seeing stuff growing up, I didn't grow up in the best kind of household with money coming in, and you see those struggles, and it kind of pushes you to make it to the next level. I think that's been my major motivator there. But as far as the old saying is, everybody's got 24 hours in a day. It's just a difference in who makes the most of that 24 hours.
I think that you talked about how you got there, and at first it started with a plan. Then it was you didn't overextend yourself because you got in with a guy that was able to give you some good financing options and allowed you to not get into debt. And then talk about growing incremental as opposed to overnight to where you can manage it.
Yeah.
And it seems like that process has worked well for you. And for our business owners out there, I think gives you a kind of a blueprint as you can work through, day one to day, 5 years.
Exactly. I didn't have any business background in the schooling. The chiropractic schools can't give you a business background because it's different in every state. They can't cover 50 states worth of business options. So I think it was imperative with the way I started to try to watch the growth and to make sure I didn't make any stupid mistakes along the way that would put me under.
Yeah.
Anything from your military? I mean, I imagine a lot, but military background, Marine background, help out in your daily, business.
A little bit.
He snaps necks very well.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
It's second nature.
And he gets paid to do it, which is really cool.
But I think initially the discipline and the desire to have a driving force that comes from a good base like that. I believe at 17, going through that type of boot camp scenario gives you the discipline and motivation to make it in any type.
Because I know there are a lot of current ex-military that when they come out, they're looking for something to do, and they may be some of our business owners out there. So those skills, are transferable. That discipline, that work ethic. If you have like I said, that plan and everything else that you mentioned here today, it's something that can make you successful in all aspects.
Any mistakes? Any mistakes that you made that if you had to do
sure.
it all over again? What do you think your biggest one was?
Well, there was plenty of, fortunately enough, small mistakes. Nothing really, really big, but some typical things in every business. Hiring,
No juggler type of injury.
Nothing like that. Wasn't doing party tricks or anything like that, and get myself in trouble with the law. Nothing like that, but just the typical mistakes. Hiring the wrong individuals at first that end up costing you time and money. More so than anything else. Some bad advertising deals, which fortunately were small enough, on a limited budget, you can recover from that stuff. Those, I think, were the biggest biggest mistakes I made.
So what would you do differently, particularly in hiring? Because we
It's a recurring theme for us.
it's a recurring theme.
interviews.
People
Well,
talk about it.
I think there's a standard in any field that don't hire the young, cute, single girl to work at your front desk.
But that's why I come to your office.
Well, don't rely too heavily on them, then I should speak. I tried to train a young 20-year-old girl to be an office manager, and 3 weeks into working for me, she ran away with a boyfriend, so I had to start all over again but I found an experienced office manager who had kids that were older, and that made a world of difference.
Awesome.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, we're going to come back and we're going to finish off with actually our recipe for success with Dr. Brad. Go to his website, www.drtodaro.com. He's in the Water Dam Plaza in McMurray, South Hills. Although you're willing to take people from
As far as they're willing to drive.
Yeah, if they dare come down from the North Hills, we'll see them, right?
Cross that river.
Cross that river. All right, come on back for the recipe.